Welcome back to this lucky point of view.
This is the second episode. We're calling it episode number 14. We kind of have a thing for the number 13, so that's where we started it off at. But the second episode is episode 14. Our first episode, we talked about Irene, how we found out she had allergies. Kind of took you through that, and she's about 3 years old now.
Yeah, so she's going into 3. All this time I have stayed home with her.
Yeah.
But we moved into the house.
We moved into the house we're at now.
And we knew we needed more income.
We did. We needed more income.
So we figured she was at a good age that we could start looking at daycares.
Yeah.
She was talking. We felt like she was going to be able to communicate if she wasn't feeling good. She was somewhat aware of her allergies.
Yes, she knew she had allergies.
And she knew there were certain things she couldn't have. Right. Obviously not everything. She was 3, almost 3. So the hard part came trying to find a good daycare. One that made us feel comfortable. One that has some kind of experience, knowledge.
We look for that. I think we
allergies.
look for some knowledge, for some experience. We visited several. Like I said, I was still working a lot. Maria took care of a lot of this. I still went to some. We talked to several daycares, child care. We asked questions.
Yeah, I think when we started, we tried to do as much as research we could.
We did.
But I think a lot of the information we were finding was more of the daycare, not necessarily how they treated allergies or how they handled allergies or nothing of that sort. So
I think both of us kind of needed a one-on-one conversation just to get a feel of how
they react, how they responded.
Things went down in there. Yeah. We had a kind of like a questionnaire or a thing to go by from what our allergist gave us.
Yeah.
Action plan, things to ask daycares, things to ask schools, stuff like that. And she was about to go to. So we went through that, and then we had questions of our own. Like I said, we went to several. And there was a lot of them that was pretty pricey.
Yeah. I think we went... When we looked, we weren't really looking to see which one was the more expensive, which one was the cheaper. We were mainly focused on something that made us feel comfortable when it came to her allergies. Throughout the process, we found some were more expensive than others. I mean, daycare in general is expensive, but...
I kind of had in my head that a more expensive one was going to be the one that made me feel more comfortable. I was kind of preparing for a pricey daycare. But actually, when it boiled down to it, the one we chose was probably middle of the scale.
Yeah.
It wasn't the most expensive. It was by far. And it wasn't the cheapest.
No. But it was a really good one. They made us feel comfortable. They asked questions. They made us feel like, okay, they know.
Yeah.
And like you said, we had came up with some questions based on what the allergies had said, what he had gave us some questions. We wrote down some questions. We had an action plan that the allergist provided.
Yeah.
That eventually we share with the daycare once we committed to it, right? Once we said, this is the one, this is what we're going to do. That was a big deal. I mean, having to trust a completely stranger.
It was a big step.
And I know every parent goes through it. Any working parent, right? Leaving their kids. But we have always, and we still have to always think about that. Something extra. something a little bit more than any other parent has to worry about, which is her allergies, because they are very serious. So having the right daycare, having the right people was a big deal for us.
Yeah.
We decided she was going to go there. We shared the action plan, not the daycare, the allergies had provided.
The allergist.
Yes. And we make sure that they had EpiPens.
They had EpiPens. They had Benadryl. It was the whole transaction actually was kind of smooth. It was. I've always had could get gut feelings, I guess, and I've always trusted those feelings, and I've said it several times. If the hair stands up on the back of your neck, it's there's a reason for it, you know. So I take that as a gut feeling, and that whole tour, I guess you'd call it, and talk we had with the owner, she was very comforting. This daycare wasn't like a big corporation.
No.
She owned it. It was small. That wasn't in somebody's house.
No.
It was a building. I think it had like a little cafeteria in it where they cooked food for the kids, and
it was a facility, a small facility.
Right.
But it was comforting.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe because it was small.
Maybe.
I don't know, but it like you said, it wasn't, that part wasn't hard.
Right. Thought it was, but choosing one, you'll get, if you're in the process of looking for one, I think you'll get a feeling. As a parent, you'll get a feeling, and you'll know when you talk to the people and how they answer and stuff like that. I don't think that'll be hard. Hard sometimes is I guess actually letting go.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. The difficult part was actually going through with it, right? Leaving her there, and we made the decision that she wasn't going to eat there.
No.
Pack lunch. Were going to pack her lunch, send her snack, do everything.
We still do that today.
Yeah,
we've packed her lunch for everything.
School.
Yeah.
We just want to eliminate something that could cause a reaction, right? Something that it just eliminate as many risks.
Try to minimize the risk.
Yes,
the most risk as possible.
We knew there were going to be occasions where they will have parties, like holidays, birthday parties, like parents bringing stuff. So we just asked to be notified, like for parties, when the daycare did parties. Yes, right. It was easier for them to let us know, on this day we're planning on doing this, and then we'll coordinate, and then I'll bake her cupcakes, cookies, whatever it was.
Right.
I think it was a little bit harder if a parent just sent something.
Right.
But if they knew ahead of time, which I want to say they did.
Most of they did.
Because I think they will post it, right? Like if you plan on sending something, we have a kid with an allergy, and kind of.
So that was part of our questioning too when we was talking to some of these daycares is do you have birthday parties and this, that, and the other, and if we do, can we be notified ahead of time? So we don't want Irene, I guess, to be a problem, as in, oh well, we can't have birthday parties because
of her.
We didn't want that. We wanted her to be included as much as possible, and if we just got like a day's notice, she had baked a cupcake or a cookie or whatever they was having, we can make sure she had it, or it would be peanut and egg free. And a lot of times they didn't get to sit together eating. Irene would sit at a different table to eat, but she was still there. Kids, they would get done eating, they washed their hands, which, I guess they washed their hands a lot, being a daycare, germs, kids, all that good stuff. But they would make sure everybody's hands was washed and everybody was clean, and
that made it, I guess, more comfortable, right? Comforting, knowing that she was still included. but still being safe at the same time.
Yeah.
And like you said, those were things that we talked about during the visit. And I think we always make sure she had a special treat. Even now, like special snack.
Yeah.
Special sweet. Something that if for whatever reason somebody ended up showing up with something.
Right.
And we weren't notified.
I kind of forgot about that until you just said that.
You know, that she could have something.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't be feeling left out. But it was always that daycare. I don't have nothing but good stuff to say about her, about the daycare.
Yeah,
they took really good.
That went well.
Good care of her.
The years and years.
And she was there for a long time.
Several years.
Everything
went good.
From daycare, summer camp, to some years when she started elementary school.
Yeah.
But, you know, like we have talked about her growing up. Around that time, with all that, we had just finished, you know, going through that new stage.
Yeah.
Daycare, me working, being away. We decided to remodel the house. And that was a big project.
We had a big project going on.
It was around Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of got... This is the part where we're going to talk about the...
Reaction.
Her first reaction.
Because first big mistake.
Yes. Remodeling the house. Out of our norm. Out of our schedule.
Yeah.
You have a lot of stuff going on, so you're not paying attention to this, not paying attention to that. We took her trick-or-treating, which she was Anna. So cute. She was really cute. Her 2 braids. Anyways. We took her trick-or-treating. We came home, you know, pour all the candy on the floor, and we started sorting through.
Separating everything out.
Yeah, you know, you have to check the candy anyways, and then we were separating it.
Mm-hmm.
What she could have, what she couldn't have. We tend to, our thing for us, we avoid facilities and equipment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what worked for us. That's what we do. So we separated everything. I let her have some candy that she was able to have. So she could eat some candy here at night, you know, after trick-or-treating. She went to her room. She was playing with her toys. I came downstairs. We was talking about something about the remodelation or who knows, something, right?
Right.
Or more than likely probably bringing down tools.
Possibly.
You know, because
right.
We had a lot going on. So a couple minutes went by. We went upstairs. I was checking on her to see what she was doing. You went into the bedroom. I think you was going to take a shower. I went to check on her. And as soon as I walked in, I saw her playing. And I saw on the floor a M&M wrapper.
Fun size peanut M&M wrapper.
Yes.
Like the real small ones. They're real popular in Halloween.
Yes, because they're like the single serve, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I couldn't talk. Like, I froze.
Yeah.
Just seeing that, I just froze. I couldn't say. I just called you.
Mm-hmm. Now, with this being said, we had separated the candy. The candy was in
our nightstand. That's right.
Our nightstand, yep, yeah.
In our room.
So she, it wasn't like it was easy to get to. It wasn't like it was even in the kitchen where stuff normally was.
It wasn't laid out.
It was not laid out.
It was inside the little nightstand.
And I don't know, I don't even remember actually how she even known it was there, because she didn't typically, at 3 years old, she didn't very seldom come in our bedroom. So I don't know what happened.
Especially not to go through our stuff.
Right. So I don't,
so,
we missed that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I think I had some tools left up down there, and we was bringing them down here to the basement and taking them to the garage or whatever. But she was probably alone 2 or 3 minutes.
5 tops, if I have
don't
to
even.
say.
No, it wasn't 5 minutes. I was thinking maybe 2 minutes tops. I know that's really bad. I guess when
we're saying it out loud,
when you revisit it and you think about it, and you say it out loud, it's bad.
I mean, she must have seen me putting it there when we were distracted gathering the tools or whatever. I don't know. She must have sneaked in there, got it.
She got it. I guess that's the point of the story, what it boils right? down to. She was putting it in one of her toys or something. Yeah, so right?
I saw it in the wrapper. Right, I saw the wrapper. Called you. And you were like, "What?" And then I couldn't tell you. And I think because I just kept calling you, but I wasn't saying nothing. You were like, "What?" And I just showed it to you.
Yeah. So I went in. I remember I went in the bedroom, picked up Irene, and she had the M&M balls in the little toy, pushing them around.
Yeah, in like a little pop thing. Like she had gotten like a kitchen set, I think, for her birthday.
Yeah. And I asked her if she had ate one, and she said no. But she said no because she knew, for one, she knew she wasn't supposed to have it. She already knew I guess she had went in our bedroom and got candy that she was not supposed to have. So she thought I was asking her that she was going to get in trouble.
Yes.
And it had nothing to do with it, because I was freaking out. I was still, I guess, mentally, I was in control, right? But I was very nervous and very scared, because this is like, oh my God, we've been 3 years.
And nothing has happened.
This is what she's allergic to. This is what can kill her, right? This is it.
I know.
We really did not know if she ate it or if she didn't.
I mean, she said no, right? We couldn't trust what she was saying
at this point,
right?
In time.
We lift up her, because she has never really ingested since she was a baby. We had never seen a reaction, right? So we didn't really know what to look for. We lift up her shirt, her pajamas, see if she was red anywhere. Nothing. We took her to the room. We picked her up, took her to our bed. We started opening the M&Ms to see how many were in a pack.
Yeah.
Because we found 3, I think, right? I think we came to the conclusion they either had 4 or 5.
You're right. There was supposed to be like 5 little peanut M&Ms in there.
5 or 4 or something, because we opened every single one of them.
And there was only, and she had 2 or 3.
3 in her little pot.
So there was 2
that were missing.
That was missing.
Were they in another pot? Has she ate it? And we were like, okay, what are we supposed to do? Like, do we epi her? Like we were going through all of this, and you know what? I just remembered we had already met Candace and Matt at that time. Because I remember calling them, right? Because Christian has
peanut allergy.
Yes, and we were like, okay, so we kind of told them. I was like, we really don't. One, we were freaking the F out. Yeah. I mean, you one job. We only had one job.
One job.
We failed.
Yes, we did.
So we were feeling like horrible already. So scared. We didn't know if she ate it or not. So we were like, okay, you're a parent. Like, why would you do whatever? And we were talking, and we were like, you know what? We need to give her Benadryl. Like, if she ate it or not.
So I don't remember doing the Benadryl, right? I remember I talked to her 2 or 3 times asking her. She said no. She said no. She said no. And then we went to counting, and we knew 2 was missing. And then I finally got it out of her that she just wanted to know what would happen. I said, Irene, you're not supposed to eat peanuts.
Did she tell you which color she ate?
She just wanted to know what would happen. The blue one.
And she ate the blue one. That's the moment that we were like...
in the car.
Yep. I mean, and I remember... because I want to say we did give her Benadryl, but thinking back, it's like everything happening and you're freaking out that maybe I'm missing or maybe I'm adding.
So we actually, I mean, just to be honest, we've talked about this a couple of times, but nothing like
this.
Because I kind of feel like I'm reliving this right now.
Yes, and it's something that it's like I put my kid in danger.
It
was my fault.
It hurt
that this happened. So it was like, okay. So I remember we said, all right, we're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because she had finally said, we knew then
we
for
knew
sure
she had
ingested it. So you were bringing her down the steps, and she told you that her belly or her tongue
felt numb. I can't feel my tongue, Daddy, or Poppy.
Poppy. She said something itchy. That's why she calls it when she has it. My tongue, it's itchy.
And
she started going down the step. Did she throw up going down the step?
Mm-mm.
So she was telling you, right, that she didn't tongue itchy. We put her in the car seat.
In the car.
I mean, I was buckling her up.
You was buckling her up while we was backing out the driveway.
I sat in the back, and I had the epi in my hand, ready to just
Didn't
if
know
I needed to.
What to do, really. I know. So the hospital is
15
minutes away. I think we made it in about 7 minutes. It's going through town, right? So we live in the city. We live in the city limits, and from here to there, the speed limit don't ever get over 35. And this was probably about 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
And luckily we didn't see no cops.
You was.
I don't think I ever got below 80, 85.
You was running every light.
I was running red lights.
It was scary. I mean, it's one of the scariest because we have been through it.
We got there.
She was when did she start throwing up? Did she start throwing up in the car? Or did she start coughing in the car?
I think she started coughing in the car.
I could put in the flash of my phone on her face, right, to see if her lips were going to swallow up or what was going to happen.
My biggest concern was her breathing, right?
Yes.
So you was looking at her lips, see if there's change of colors. I was like, is she breathing?
Her tongue.
Is her breathing? Yeah, is she breathing? Is she breathing? Like, yeah, she's breathing. I mean, I'm flying down the road, running red lights. We get there. I think, do we call? We called.
Did we?
We called and told them exactly what was happening.
That we were coming.
That we're on our way. We're 2 minutes out, 3 minutes out, or whatever. And so luckily we swing around. We go right to where the ambulances drive through in the emergency room.
Out.
You got her out. Took her straight in. They wasn't waiting for her, but they was waiting for her at the door.
Yeah, because that time was like we didn't have to wait in the waiting room.
They went straight back.
We went straight back, and
I think I went to park, and then I came.
I
came in later.
And we were. That's when she started throwing up.
That's when she started throwing up.
And her reaction, she never really got.
Too many whelps.
I remember. Her inside of the inside of her skin. Right, because it wasn't even red like this. It was like a
raised.
But it was. I don't know how to put it into words, right? But it wasn't like the whelp we see when she eats eggs, right?
Right.
It the red looks like inside her skin.
Right.
I don't know how to describe it. And it's just nonstop vomit.
Vomiting. The only way, the only way I know how to explain this is, violently vomiting, stomach cramps. You can just see the pain in her eyes, and her squinching, and she vomited everything out of her stomach. Dry heaved probably for another hour, 2 hours, maybe hour and a half. This was dry heaving. Now the vomiting was probably an hour or so, 2 hours on top of that.
Completely empty out everything she had, and
really bad vomiting.
It was pain, and it's painful.
And that is part of anaphylactic shock.
Mm-hmm.
Is nauseous, vomiting, abdominal pain. So she was there. She was in anaphylactic shock. Now she was breathing. Her throat and her tongue hadn't swollen up, or anywhere to restrict her breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And this was her first reaction to peanuts.
Mm-hmm.
Now we'll get into this later, but as second, third, as you grow in reactions, like you have one reaction, then you have another, the symptoms will be worse. Mm-hmm. When you have a third, the symptoms will be worse than the second. If you have a fourth, the symptoms will be worse than the third.
And it
just keeps growing and growing and growing, right?
Yeah.
And the same way for eggs also.
I think it goes for any reaction, mm-hmm. but that was the first full-on reaction.
Ingestion. She ingested peanuts.
She ingested peanuts. And I mean, it's so hard seeing your kid like that, right?
It is bad when they get sick, right? Let's just say they get a cold and they're suffering, and it's tough. But when you see your kid in that much pain,
and that's something that I don't think everybody never says, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's painful,
very painful.
Like the way, and then you see it, and then just telling you, "Help me, mommy,"
mm-hmm.
like make it stop, and it's just.
So when they get to the doctor, if I mm-hmm. remember correctly, right, they give her. I know they give her some steroids.
Yes, they give her steroids, and they monitor her breathing. I know. It's like we're relieving this, and it's so hard.
Yeah.
But so they do. That's one of the main things they do. Since we didn't administer the epi, mm-hmm. so they just went on like her breathing, her oxygen.
Yeah.
And what medicine you just said?
Steroids.
Yes. And
I don't know what kind of steroid it is,
I don't
but
know
I
either.
Used a boost
to kick in her, like to make her immune system mm-hmm. kind of kick in and start doing what it's supposed to. How long were we there? We were there for a long time.
Yeah, I'm thinking close to the 20-hour mark. I don't think we was there a full day, but we was there through the night.
We were there through the night,
and then into the next day.
I think so.
But I can't remember when. The next day,
they send you home with more steroids and
mm-hmm.
and what else? Something else I thought, and that's something we haven't mentioned too. Is because of her allergies, she also has asthma.
Well, she does have asthma.
So we need to make sure that we keep an eye on that and mm-hmm. use her
nebulizer.
That one, if we saw anything.
Uh-huh.
And then you have to follow up with your doctor right after.
Yeah. Pediatrician and the allergist, both.
Yes. So right after that, I mean, that was so hard. Like,
that was tough.
It was tough. And I think was that when it clicked maybe for everybody?
I think that is when my mom, her mom, all of our families, that's when they really understood allergies. We understood it. We did. I understood it from Jump Street. I guess not from Jump Street. When we found out and we started reading, we started doing so much research. I understood, like, this is serious, right? And my parents and her parents, everybody knew it was serious. But I think when this happened, then it did click. Everybody really got on board, researching and understanding when she went over that the house had to be a certain way and certain things like that.
And I'm even gonna say, for me, it's not like I didn't know I knew that she was allergic. We took all these precautions.
Yeah.
But then you seeing that something inside you clicks even more and makes you like, you need to do better.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not that we ever doubted it, not that we never believed it. Like you said, she was 3. She was over 3.
Right.
And we had been doing all of this to keep her from that from happening, and then we messed it up, and it was just like, like you just said a little bit ago, just saying it sounds bad. We should have never had that to her reach, because she was still a kid. Obviously, she was going to be curious.
Yep.
And it's like, God, like, you feel like the worst parent ever. I mean, you just risked your child's life.
Yeah.
What if, like, I think after that, and then that hit me even more, like, after that, what if we would have taken 10 more minutes downstairs? What if we would have went to bed? What if we had put her to bed and we didn't see it? Like, all these things come to your mind. Tons of what if situations. And
tons
it's just
of different routes. And you can, and we had this conversation, and you could beat yourself up about it, and you could tell yourself you're the worst person in the world, right? But I mean, stuff happens, and thank God that it didn't kill her. I mean, let's just say it like it is. And
like we said, right? We are not perfect.
Right.
This was our first mistake. But it has happened again. I don't. And this is, we're gonna be as relatable and as truthful.
Yeah.
Because we want people to see it,
to understand.
All the times that she has had a reaction has been because of us. But one.
Define us. Okay, you've piqued my curiosity now.
Not because of, like, not as in, because of our negligence.
Okay, so this time, obviously, let's go ahead and count this out. Okay, now later on down the road, we was in Florida.
Okay, no. Okay, so
that one was.
Oh, are you saying it because of me or you?
No. I'm saying it as us.
Okay, so peanuts, right? The first one. Then I gave her the one with the egg.
Forgot about that. That was a cereal bar. Okay, that was number 2.
That was number 2. Then
number 3.
Florida.
That was the candy bar. So that was. I'll take the blame for that one.
But
right?
I checked it, so I take that was a us thing. And then the last one, that last one wasn't on us.
That was the
ice cream.
So what about the IHOP?
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
So that was 3, 4. So she's had 5 reactions.
Yeah, but only 4 to the hospital. Did we take her to the IHOP? Did we take her to the hospital with the IHOP?
We went to the hospital.
I don't think we went in.
And we sat outside the ER.
Yes, that's right. So I guess, yes, that's 5. So
So five, not 6. 5 reactions in all.
Yeah.
And I think we can take blame for 3 of them.
Yes.
The other 2, ice cream. What was the ice cream?
That was the most recent one. That we was the she had a reaction, but nothing is listed on the ice cream, and that was the only thing we could associate it with it.
Right. Okay.
So
we didn't go to the hospital for that.
Yeah, we did.
Did we? Where's my mind at?
So that's what's. So we went to the hospital, obviously, for the one we just talked about. We went to the hospital for the one with the egg.
Right.
We went to the hospital, the one in Florida. We did not go, but we stayed in the parking lot for IHOP. And then this one was like last year, Mother's Day. Or 2 years ago, Mother's Day.
We went to High Point?
Yeah.
I do remember.
Yeah, but it was the shortest stay we have ever had.
Yeah.
So
she threw up a couple times in the bag.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. I remember now.
Yeah.
So that one we can't blame herself either. I don't think.
So I guess, like you said, 3 of them.
3 of them was our fault.
So most of her allergies
was our fault.
Was our fault.
So we'll get into more of these reactions in other episodes because they've been throughout.
But this was like a main, not a main, but this was like the first full on.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's we have learned from the first one, right? Because there's different ways. Like when she had our first reaction, we was told don't administer the epi unless you have to.
Mm-hmm.
And the second reaction, I think we was kind of in the same boat. And that one was in Tampa.
No, first was the eggs.
First was the eggs.
I think
first was the peanuts.
Then the
second
eggs.
Was the eggs.
I think at that point, when the eggs happened, then it was like you need to start using that epi.
Mm-hmm. Third was in Florida. Now, when we went to Florida, when this happened in Florida, and we'll talk more about this, I wasn't too impressed with the ER and how that went down. Because they was trying to force us out, I guess, before I thought we needed to be. I thought, and we fought it a little bit. We stayed there. I think you need to be monitored for a minimum of 12 hours. And probably 24 hours is good. Right?
Yeah. So...
And the doctor in Tampa, that didn't go like I thought it should have went. He kind of blew off the whole situation. But yeah, that was
which we're gonna talk about.
We'll talk about more of that. We'll get back to the first reaction.
I forget that word. More in depth.
More in depth. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one. Plus, she was so little. The first reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we have learned.
We have learned
a lot. You know, I mean, first and foremost, we had to remember she's a kid.
Yeah.
She's gonna be curious.
Yes.
She might get into other things.
So with that too, I think honestly, and we talked about this back then, but when that happened, she said she just wanted to know what would happen. I think it really scared her and really woke her up to her own allergies.
Because, like you said, she knew there were certain things she couldn't have, but that made it very real.
Yeah.
But so that's our experience. How her first reaction went.
All right, so with all that, I really want to clear some stuff up. You know, we love our kid, and we try our best to do everything possible for her. So I don't know if there's probably going to be a bunch of bad comments, or I don't know what's going to go down from this podcast if people's going to talk shit or whatever, and that's fine. If you feel like you need to say something, go ahead and say it. And I want people to leave their comments, you know, but nothing was intentional.
No,
I
obviously, and nothing has been ever intentional, right? This is us being as, like I said, relatable as possible, and humans and parents.
This is
that we're going to. Like, we have made mistakes, right? Yeah. And
this is us being real.
Yeah, and it's not something that we take lightly. We have always been really, well, I guess not really, because, you know, things has happened, but we have always tried to do the best we can to make sure that she's safe.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of things that we didn't know, and like we're finding out every day, and to make it better and safer for her.
Yeah.
So,
with all that being said, please like, subscribe to our channel. This was episode 14. Episode 15, we will get into pause for reaction here. So I guess
just 3, 4, just I guess what else, kind of what we learned from that reaction, and then getting her ready for school.
Yeah, so we'll getting her ready for school.
We're getting ready for school, and then we're gonna, we around that time, because like we mentioned that we had already met Candace and Matt. How we met another parent. So that was the first other parents that we knew with a kid with allergies. So we'll share all that, how that helped us too, knowing somebody else that we could talk to. Yeah.
So episode 13, which is our first episode, that kind of introduces to how we found out. Episode 2 was basically actually really boiled down to her reaction. Daycare and her reaction, her first reaction. So episode 3 we'll bring in some other parents.
Well,
and we'll talk about.
We talked about meeting other parents and having like more support when it came to that topic. Yep. So,
that being said,
I think we'll catch you guys.
Catch y'all outside.
How about that?
Thank y'all.